Hello and welcome. You're watching Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. As always, we're in Delhi. The weather is not really great because it's raining and drizzling, but weather has never stopped golfers, and that's why we're out here with a special guest today, Bhalla of a company called Cocoberry, a young entrepreneur who's managed to make it big. But we'll find out how was the journey, the stumbling blocks, and whether he finds himself still on the fairway.
On the show this week, we get you GS Bhalla, founder and CEO, Cocoberry.
We used to get naysayers telling us कि इतनी बड़ी दुकान से दही बेचोगे, yeah, things like दही इतनी महंगी कौन खरीदेगा. So, but we were true to our conviction. We felt that our concept would do well in the Indian context.
In golfing news, Alexander Noren wins Nodia Masters. And golfing tip with Jasjeet Singh.
The ball is lying very close and in fact under this little tree over here. Now, how do I play this particular shot?
Hi.
I mean, almost halfway through.
Jesus, guys, I told what's
So you got lucky the other day. No rain on Saturday. Great weather.
Actually, it was good weather. Welcome to the show. It's such pleasure. I know it's raining a bit, but then has a weather ever spoiled the game for anyone?
I hear you, Shaili. A golfer will always golf irrespective of the weather conditions.
That's right. So we are sort of in the thick of a bit of a drizzle, but I think we'll manage it before it becomes a downpour.
Well, that's not going to stop me from golfing.
That's not going to stop him. Good. That's the spirit we like, don't we? But talking of the unstoppable spirit, you're an entrepreneur. How did that entire business come about? I mean, when did you start the whole idea of your business, Cocoberry?
Well, I'd start my entrepreneurial story from much before Cocoberry. Cocoberry is actually my third or fourth entrepreneurial venture. I've always been an entrepreneur, born entrepreneur. So my first entrepreneurial venture was setting my little book stall when I was about 7 or 8 years old outside my house.
Wow. So literally a garage story, isn't it?
Literally a garage story. Well, fortunately, Cocoberry didn't start in a garage because I had some success with a couple of other ventures.
And what were these other ventures that you had success with?
Right out of college, I started a trading company which was fairly successful. And then in 2000, I started a KPO business focusing on the healthcare vertical. It's continued to grow at a steady pace in the past 10 years, and we continue to run that business. Cocoberry, we had conceived in 2007. We were looking to enter the retail space in India, and we thought food and beverage is largely recession-proof business. So 2007, there was an economic downturn globally. And
was it a good time to start that time?
To be quite honest, it's almost impossible to for any entrepreneur or any business venture to perfectly time when it starts. But I think, in my opinion, any time's a good time to start. But to answer your question, yes, we were looking at a couple of other opportunities. And in 2007, with the economic downturn, we decided to go with the food and beverage retail.
But I mean, this Cocoberry is not a regular ice cream, right? It has... it's got parfaits and it works with yogurt. And so, I mean, where did you pick up the idea? Because this idea has lived in the West for many years.
Let me first correct you. It is not ice cream. It's actually yogurt.
Okay, so that's what I said. It's got some elements of yogurt's parfait. So it's okay, not ice cream
it's
at all.
All yogurt. There is no ice cream. So what happens with frozen yogurt is we replace the cream component that you would find in ice cream, which is about 13 to 14% butterfat, and replace that with yogurt, which is probiotic and it's good for health. We were looking at the Indian demographic, a largely young population, people becoming more and more health conscious. Dessert is one area that everybody would like to indulge in, but usually it's associated with guilt.
That's right, hugely.
And that's why we thought that Cocoberry frozen yogurt would be a good way to launch the Cocoberry brand in India, associate ourselves with health and wellness, and the rest is history, as they say.
Talking of history, which part of this entrepreneurial cycle did golf get its entry into?
Golf, I've always been an outdoors person since childhood. I've enjoyed outdoor sport from a very young age. So I think golf was a natural progression, being an outdoor sport. And to be quite honest, it's a little selfish because this is probably the only sport you can play through till even in your old age. So
it's better to pick it up early.
Better to pick it up early and finish off till your grave.
Finish off till your grave. Okay, so the golf goes all the way to the grave.
All the way.
So tell me now, in your whole golfing experience, has golf taught you a few things about the idea of taking risk? Because an entrepreneur, risk is really is part of the preamble.
Like golf business is. You never have two same days on the course. You could be playing at the same course for 10 years, but each day is different. And similarly in business, you come across different challenges every single day, even if you're in the same business for years. So I think there are a lot of similarities between golf and business as a whole. So I guess that's why so many entrepreneurs pick up golf as a sport.
Were you a risk taker from life earlier on?
Yes, I've always been a risk taker, but I think it's important to mitigate risk in order to be successful. So I think risk is an important element of every entrepreneurial journey, but I think it needs to be supported by some kind of validation of concept and data.
So let's talk about this whole idea of best practices. Since you talk of validation, data, calculated risks, at some stage in your entrepreneurial journey, you must have realized that everything that has to be successful truly has to follow a certain system. It's got to have best practices. It's got to have scalability. That's when you thought of Cocoberry? Or did the other businesses sort of allude themselves to doing this kind of a scale-up?
Not necessarily. I think all businesses ultimately boil down to people. It's your employees, your customers, all your stakeholders. So I think keeping that in mind when you come up with any business idea, I think it needs to take into account how all these stakeholders will respond to the opportunity. So I don't think that changes for any business, and I don't think it's any different at Cocoberry.
Perfect. That's good. It didn't come like a top shot. So take me through the journey of Cocoberry. So while certainly you realized that there was a missing link in this market and there were healthy opportunities being sought, but why Cocoberry?
A multitude of reasons. We felt as a business group that the opportunity for us to cater to the health and wellness food space in India and create a health and wellness brand without being staid, and typically health is associated, especially related food, is not associated typically with taste.
Right.
So we wanted to change that perception. And
Hunger with desire.
Hunger with desire, and we wanted to build literally a cult brand. And with frozen yogurt, we felt that there was a high level of customization. The taste was exceptional. the product was guilt-free, and there was a high level of customization that a customer would. So literally, like a game of golf, you come into Cocoberry, every day is a different experience.
Yeah, right. Just like today is a rainy day. Every entrepreneur has to realize that it's not about him.
It's never about you.
them.
It is always about your company. It's about the team. It's about the culture. It's about the kind of systems you put in place. I think it has to be a melange of all these things put together. It's never about you.
Alex Noren took full home advantage to beat the winds and the weather to back the Nordea Masters. Noren started strong with birdies from the very first hole and registered a comprehensive 7-shot victory in his native Stockholm. England's Richard Finch was the only man to break par in strong winds, his 3 under 69 good enough for second place. Ai Miyazato won the Evian Masters for the second time as she finished with 15 under 2 shots ahead of Stacey Lewis. Japan's lady star Miyazato was able to maintain her third round advantage and win the LPGA's most lucrative event. Miyazato shot a final round of 2 under 70 to finish on 15 under for the week. The Japanese former world number 1 got off to a hot start with 3 birdies in the first 8 holes. Roos Corcoran won the Senior British Open by 2 shots, holding off fellow Americans Mark Calcavecchia and Tom Watson. Roos captured his first major title at Walton on the Hill. He claimed the winner's check of $310,000 after making 6 birdies in a nerveless 5 under par 67 in his final round closing at 12 under. Killarney's picturesque Killeen course plays host to the Irish Open for the 4th time this week. The lakeside course is rated as one of the best inland tracks in the country, will certainly provide Europe's top players with a stiff challenge. The opening hole at Killeen has been lengthened by almost 20 yards since last year's event, and a new tee in an effort to prevent players from cutting the corner across the lake.
It looks in tremendous condition. Last year it was in great shape, and I think it's a course where it can produce a lot of birdies. So you're going to have to shoot some good scores to win this week.